Well, in today's Net Check, the sentencing of a man to 3 years behind bars and 5 years probation for killing a thug who broke into his home and attacked his family has sparked a heated online debate here in China. Tang Jian and his family were at home when men broke into his house and started to attack them. The gang had been sent around by developers who were trying to force Chang's family from their home so they could build luxury villas on the plot.
Now, Zhang pulled out a knife and killed one of the attackers before fleeing his home. A few days later, the developers moved in and bulldozed the house. Zhang then handed himself over to police. He was sentenced this month, and the case has triggered a storm of online comments. Let's go now to our researcher, Helen Hu, in the newsroom for the latest. Helen, just how have people been reacting to this case?
Most people say the trial is unfair because the developer didn't receive any punishment. They say that in order to prevent this kind of thing from happening again, the developer should be severely punished because it was the developer who first broke the law. The majority of net users say Zhang Jian was defending himself in his own house, and therefore he doesn't deserve such severe punishment. Some say Zhang should have been found innocent.
And Helen, what have people been saying about the man who was killed?
Some people say that the man's life could have been saved, but instead of treating him, his colleagues set about demolishing the house. That's why some people say he is also a victim in this case, but many people disagree, saying that he destroyed another person's house.
Helen, thank you for that. Well, Fergus, is obviously a hugely controversial topic here, and the question of how far you should be allowed to go to protect your home is also one that's hotly debated in the U.S.
It is indeed, and in the United States, it's not the same in every state. So certain states have what is called the castle doctrine. Now, interesting, that comes from English law, where there's also a common phrase, which is an Englishman's home is his castle, which gives you the idea that it's defensible at all costs. In the United States, the castle doctrine, which is, as I said, in several states, but not all of them, does, under certain circumstances, allow the owner of a house or the owner of a property to defend that property with lethal force, even if that property is their car rather than their home.
Well, that's the case in the U.S., but that's not the case in other countries, especially in China.
No, obviously here there's a difference. It seems that you cannot certainly shoot your way out of a situation like that. In the United Kingdom, there was recently a case involving a farmer called Tony Martin. Quite similar. In this case, there were burglars came into the house. He'd been burgled on repeated occasions and eventually used a gun, happened unfortunately to kill one of the burglars and ended up going to prison. So the situation there, more like the situation here in China.
Well, in this particular case, they're certainly not burglars, but they're here for another different reason.
That's true, and this is something that I think American viewers might find quite strange, that in certain cases it has happened, and it's not that unusual, where developers here will employ what can only be described as thugs to frighten people out of their homes when they want to move in. They may have the legal right, the people don't move, and thugs are employed. And of course, this is, as we all know here in China, not rumour, but fact, and has been reported on the media on several occasions.
Right.